A lot of beginner traders tend to lose money in the markets because a lot of them have this one problem, which is unfortunately they do not know how to read the difference between an uptrend and a downtrend. And so in this video, I'm going into more depth about uptrends and downtrends and how you identify them. So I remember in the last video, I talked about market structure, where I explained that market structure is basically the trend of the market. The trend is basically the direction in which the market is moving in, and I talked about three different directions. So uptrend, downtrend, sideways. Those are the three. So I did talk about a little bit about uptrend and downtrend, but today I'm going to talk about a whole lot more and get into a whole lot more detail about the two. So this won't be something very complicated. This won't be something that's too deep. It's very light. So it's too beginner stuff, beginner level stuff, but it is very helpful because, like what I said, you can't analyze markets if you do not know how to read the direction. So that's what we'll be doing today. So I'll start off with an uptrend. So I think you remember that in the last video that I talked about, I said an uptrend is when the price of whatever you're trading is going up in the long run, right? So I did say that for you to identify an uptrend, you have to sort of see the staircase going upwards. That's how you identify an uptrend. You don't just see a straight line like this, almost like this, and then you assume that price is going up. No, price is going up in the short run, but then we're saying, is it a trend that's going to last for more than like 3 days? No, that's not the case. So let me get into it. So remember, like what I said, an uptrend looks like this. You see this, it looks like a staircase that's going up, right? Almost like a zigzag pattern. This is an uptrend. If you just see this, right, to the upside, this does not mean that price is going to the upside for a very long time. It's just price went up from like $2 to $5 within the space of like what, 2 minutes? But this doesn't really tell you that price is going up for a very long time. So this is a sort of movement you wanna see, this sort of thing you wanna see. You wanna see this zigzag pattern being made by the market. So it's not only just looking at the zigzag. There's certain things you have to look for within this zigzag pattern, right? So, like I said, it looks like this. So I'm pretty sure you can see these points here. So you've got this point, this point, this point, this point. Those points are very important because these are the points you use to identify an uptrend. And so they do have names, right? So this over here is called a higher low, and this one is a higher low again. This one is a higher low. This one here is a higher high. This one here again is a higher high and a higher high. So that's how you identify an uptrend. You look for these points, higher highs and higher lows. And the reason why they're called higher highs and higher lows is because, so you look at this high, right? This one here. So this high is higher than the previous high, which is this one. And so that's where the term higher high comes from. This high is higher than this high, hence the term higher high. Same thing with higher low. This low here is higher than this low, hence the term higher low. So the combination of the two, we have higher highs and higher lows. So that's how you identify an uptrend. You look for higher highs and higher lows. So you do this, you go to your, for practice sake, for practice, go to MetaTrader or TradingView, then this is what you do. You just trace it out. So you say higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Just keep on doing this. You know, that's how you identify an uptrend. That's how you identify one. Like I said, it's not like this. It's not like this. Like, that's not really an uptrend, guys. So yeah, that's it on uptrend. Pretty simple, like I said. This is not very complicated stuff. This is the very beginnings, but just because it's the beginning, it does not mean it's not important. It is very important that you understand what I'm talking about here, right? So that was uptrend. Now let's get into downtrend. So the downtrend is almost pretty much the same thing, whereby the market moves like this in a downtrend. So again, as you can see, it's almost like a staircase that's going down, which is going to the downside. That's what it almost looks like, right? And these points here, this one, this one, this one, this one, these are very important points. You use those points to identify the downtrend. So remember, in an uptrend, we have higher highs and higher lows. These ones are now lower highs and lower lows. Lower highs. Here is a lower low. This one is a lower high. So that's what you have. So these are all these things at the bottom, they're lower lows, at the top, lower highs. It's the same logic. Why are they called lower lows and lower highs? It's because this high is lower than this high. So this high becomes a lower high simply because it's lower than this high. And it's the same thing with the low. This low is lower than this low, so hence the term lower low. So it's pretty simple, right? This high is lower than this high, hence the term lower low. So lower high. Then this low is lower than this low, hence the term lower low. So it's very simple stuff, not that difficult to understand. This is how you identify a downtrend. And remember, guys, this is not a downtrend, a straight line that's going to the downside. No, this is not it. You don't just see a straight line that's going down and you assume we're in a downtrend. No, that's just price going from like $5 to $3 within the space of like 2 minutes. But in the long run, that is not a downtrend, right? So I hope you understood what I was talking about in this video. Like I said, it's pretty much very basic stuff here. Nothing's very difficult. This is very easy to understand. If you don't, just let me know. I'm willing to help. But otherwise, like I said, there's nothing really difficult about this. There's nothing to scare you. So just a quick summary. We did talk about uptrends. So we identify an uptrend through higher highs and higher lows, right? With the downtrend, it's lower high and lower low. Forgive my handwriting, but that's pretty much it. So for today, that's it. That's uptrend and downtrend. I will get into consolidation in the next video. The reason why I do not talk about it today is because, first of all, the video become too long, so you won't really be able to understand everything. And second of all, consolidation is a whole different thing. Like, it's a whole different thing by itself. And so, because it's very different, there are certain things I need to explain and talk about, because consolidation is very dangerous, right? So if you don't know how to deal with it, you don't know what it is, you can give up on trading. You will lose lots of money, and hey, it's tough. So next video, I'll get into depth about consolidation. But as for now, that's uptrend and downtrend. Pretty basic stuff, pretty easy stuff. This is very important for you to understand, right? It's very important. So when you are free, go and practice. Open MetaTrader, open TradingView, and just start looking at uptrends and downtrends. Try and identify, oh, what am I looking for? What am I looking at here? Is this a downtrend? Is this an uptrend? Practice is very important in this. Trading is like any other skill. I'll talk about that later. But go practice. Go look for markets. Go practice. Right? So that's it for now. I'll catch you guys in the next video.